my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 2017 yearly wrap up. So this video might be a little long, so just kind of grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something, and hopefully we can get through this video pretty quickly. I have 52 books to wrap up for 2017. I'm really excited. I had set a goal for 50 books, and I did achieve that goal, so I'm really excited. Let's just jump right in because this video is going to be very long. Okay, so the first 5 books that I have to wrap up are from the Hunter Chronicles. The first 3 being from the Mortal Instruments series, and this is all by Cassandra Clare. I read book 2, City of Ashes, and I believe I gave this like a 3 out of 5 stars. Next, I read City of Glass, which was book 3 of the Mortal Instruments series, and I believe I gave this a 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read City of Fallen Angels. This is the 4th book in the series, and I also gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. And then the other 2 by Cassandra Clare, I read Clockwork Prince, which is book 2 of the Infernal Devices series, and I think I gave this like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Clockwork Princess, which is the 3rd and final book in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read book 1 and book 2 of the Witchland series by Susan Dennard. Book 1 being Truth Witch, which I rated, I think like a 4 out of 5 stars, and then Wind Witch, I think I gave like a 3 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed Truth Witch. Wind Witch, not so much. Basically, in this series, we follow our main character, Sophie, and she is what is known as a Truth Witch. Basically, she can tell if someone is lying or telling the truth, and this is like a fantasy book. It is set in like a different like land, and it was really good. I really enjoyed Truth Witch a lot, and I do have a book review on it. But Wind Witch, I felt like it was a little whiny for me, but I am interested in continuing on with the series. Next, I have Harry Potter 1 through 4 that I read. So my husband and I listened to the audiobook of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which is book 1 and book 2. We also listened to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is book 3, and I listened to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban on my own early on in the year, and I also read the book, the illustrated version, which is up there that I don't really want to get down. So I read this book 3 times, which is probably my most reread, like repeating a book in a year. And I also listened to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is book 4. And of course, I gave every Harry Potter a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I listened to the audiobook of Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I really enjoyed the audiobook to Twilight, and I gave this also a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I finished the 3rd and the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer, the 3rd book being Cress and the 4th book being Winter. I believe I gave Cress and Winter both 5 out of 5 stars, I think, or between 4 and 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely loved them. These are fairy tale retellings, and Cress, we're following Rapunzel's Rapunzel's retelling, and Winter is Snow White. I adore this book series, and I highly recommend it. Next, I read Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the 3rd book in the Raven Cycle Quartet, and I also read The Raven King, also by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is the 4th and final book in the Raven Cycle Quartet. I believe I gave each of these 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I absolutely love this book. This is probably, I don't even know what time I am on rereading this book. It is a 5 out of 5 stars, and it is basically like a spin-off version to Harry Potter. We follow Simon Snow. He is the chosen one. He is studying at a magic school, and he is roommates with his arch nemesis, Baz, who is kind of like Draco. So very, very interesting like take from Harry Potter. The story ends up going in its own direction. The magic system is very unique. It's so good. It's so good, and I highly recommend it. Next, I read Aragon by Christopher Paolini. This is the first book in the Inheritance cycle. This is my husband's favorite series, and I keep telling him that I'm going to read the series, but I never do. I think I've read Aragon maybe like, this is probably like my second or third time reading it, because I keep like wanting to restart the series in order to like continue on. I keep telling myself I need to reread Aragon, and I still haven't continued on with the series. I really need to, but I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I love the world. This is a fantasy world, and we follow our main character Aragon, and he is a dragon rider and apparently they're very, very rare, and I really loved like the story between Aragon and his dragon. I think it's Saphira, I believe. I did enjoy this book, but for some reason I just haven't continued on with the series, and I need to. Next, I read book 2 and book 3 in A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy by Sarah J. Maas. Book 2 being A Court of Mist and Fury, and this is a reread for me, and 5 out of 5 stars. And then Court of Wings and Ruin. This is the third and final book in the series, and of course this was a 5 out of 5 stars as well. I absolutely love this series so much. We follow fairies, and there's magic, and it's just a unique land, and the politics are really unique, but I really recommend it. And this is considered new adult, so the main characters are in their 20s, so just kind of keep that in mind because it's a little bit more sexual and violent. I also read Tower of Dawn, also by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the 6th book in her Throne of Glass series, and this follows Kale's perspective from Empire of Storm, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. I can't remember, did I give it a 4? I think I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars, close to a 5 out of 5 stars, but I really, really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. I was just apprehensive about going into this book because of Kale's character, but as I said, I was very, very impressed. Next, I read Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I started this book about a year and a half ago or something like that, and I ended up putting it down, not finishing it. I wasn't really into the magic style of it, but I decided to pick it back up and just go ahead and just finish it. And I was happy with the ending. I'm glad I finished it because so many people love this book, and I see it on a lot of people's bookshelves, so I decided to go ahead and finish it, and I did enjoy it. I think I ended up giving it maybe like 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I have Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This is the first book in a duology, and in this book, we are time traveling. We have like 2 main characters in this book. We have Etta, who is from like present day New York, and then we have Nicholas, who I believe is from the 1700s. So this is pretty much like a treasure hunt through time travel. Very, very cool. I really enjoyed it, and I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I have is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. This is the 2nd book in the Illuminae files. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy it. This is set in space. It is science fiction, but what is so cool is just how unique the format of this book is. It is set in like, there's like cartoon drawings and diary entries, emails, video footage, instant messaging, just really, really, really unique, and I really enjoyed it. Next, I read the Selection trilogy by Kira Cass, which consists of book 1, The Selection. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then the Elite, which is book 2, and the One, which is book 3. And I think I gave all 3 of these, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars. These are really quick, easy reads. I think I read all 3 of them in just a couple of days. We follow our main character, America Singer, and she is chosen to be in this competition, kind of like The Bachelor, and the winner gets to marry Prince Maxton. This book is, it's really, really cute. I see why everyone really enjoys this series, and it's fun, and yeah, I I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, and my edition is illustrated by Camille Rose Garcia. I love this edition. I love the drawing so much. I didn't own any Alice in Wonderland, but when I saw this edition, I was like, I have to have it. It is so cool. And when you think about it, Alice in Wonderland is kind of a creepy story. So I really like how the pictures in this just depicts on how unique and kind of creepy Wonderland is, but I believe I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I have The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. This is the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is the spin-off series to Percy Jackson. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. We get a lot more characters in this series. It's different than Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson we're in first person, and this is third person, and each book we follow 3 separate characters. So I like the characters that we were introduced to in this book as well, but I'm excited for Mark of Athena because I liked how it ended. Next, I have Black Hills by Nora Roberts. This is also a reread for me, and I believe I gave this like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is adult romance. We follow 2 main characters, Cooper and Lillian, and this is set in, I believe, is it South Dakota, in like the mountains of South Dakota, and there's a murder that's going on, and very interesting. This is one of Nora Roberts' like murder romance mysteries, and I really enjoyed it. Next, I have Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. I gave both of these a 5 out of 5 stars. We follow our main character Audrey Rose, and she is being trained to be the perfect lady, but she hates it. She would much rather apprentice for her uncle in forensics, and this is set in Victorian London. All these gruesome murders start to happen in Stalking Jack the Ripper. Audrey Rose teams up with another character named Thomas, and they try and figure out who is the murderer. And then in Hunting Prince Dracula, we follow Audrey Rose to Romania at a forensic school. These books are so good. I love the banter, the wit, the sass between the 2 characters. I love her writing style. She just has great representation of almost everything, and yeah, highly, highly recommend this book series. Next, I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This was our November pick of the month for our book club, Muggle Studies book club for Hannah and I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars. We do have a live show if you are interested in knowing any more about my thoughts on this book, but I was kind of disappointed. I was expecting, I think just this book is so hyped that I was expecting a little bit more. I feel like the plot was lacking a little bit, but the atmosphere is beautiful and the writing is beautiful. So this is adult, like magical realism, very interesting and unique. It's kind of hard to explain what the book is about, but if you really love like atmospheric, beautiful, poetic writing, then I think you would really enjoy this one. Next, I read The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano. This was our December pick of the month for our book club, and I ended up giving this, I think, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. We follow our main character, Will, and she is the 4th child to the king and his only daughter, and she is like his spy, and she develops these powers where if she touches any living thing, they turn into a gemstone. And there is a cursed prince, and I enjoyed it. I like where the story is going. I feel like there is a lot of opportunity for this book to like just go kind of like the world itself. We just got a piece of the world, and the world could be really big. So I am excited. I will continue on with this series. Next, I read To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is the first book in a trilogy, and I believe this book is being made into a movie actually, but this is young adult contemporary. It was cute. I don't read a lot of young adult contemporary, but I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 3 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a cute book. Our main character, we just kind of follow her through high school and how she like deals with boys, but basically she writes these letters to all of the boys that she loved, and these letters end up getting mailed and each boy ends up receiving these letters. So she's trying to like figure out, like just navigate through that and like through high school and stuff. But it was cute. I did enjoy it, and I may continue on with the series, but I think I'm definitely gonna watch the movie. Next, I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This book I gave, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars. It is so beautiful. It's not usually something that I read because it is sad and it deals with like illnesses and stuff, but pretty much our main character, Connor, his mom is going through a really difficult time, and one day a monster calls on him to take him on these adventures to help him through like this tough time in his life. I also watched the movie, which was so sad. Oh my god, it made me cry. I do have a vlog on that, so if you're interested in seeing that. But beautiful, beautiful book. Very, very touching. Very sad though. Not usually something that I read or watch, but I am glad that I read it. Next, I read A Series of Unfortunate Event, The Bad Beginning. I only read book 1 by Lemony Snicket. I think I gave it also 4 out of 5 stars. It's really cute. I really wanted to read the series in order to watch like the Netflix show. I think I would have enjoyed the series a lot more if I were younger. I adored the Netflix show though. I decided just to go and read the Netflix show. I mean, watch the Netflix show, which I adored. So I think maybe I'll continue on with the series someday. I don't know, maybe read it to my kids or something, but I just read the first one and I enjoyed it. Actually, I listened to the audiobook and it was enjoyable. I had like audio sound effects and stuff like that, so definitely for little kids, which I think was a lot of fun. Okay, next I'm getting into the graphic novels that I read. Those were all of the books, and next I'm going into graphic novels. The first being Seconds by Brian O'Malley. This is a reread for me. I really enjoyed this. Is adult graphic novel. I love the artwork in this book, and we follow our main character. I think her name is Amy? No, Katie, and she is a chef and she's trying to open up a new restaurant, and things are just, I guess, not going her way, and she finds these magic mushrooms where she can repeat days, like she can go back and, you know, do it all over again. So I really enjoyed it, and I think I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Dracula, a graphic novel by Bram Stoker, and it was illustrated by Matt Paget. I've never read Dracula before, so this is kind of like the only information I have from Dracula, and I enjoyed it. I like the illustrations. They are very like minimal, which I enjoyed, and I don't know, it was good. I don't know what it compares to the real story of Dracula, because this is just saying like it's an adaptation. I think I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Lumberjanes Volume 1 by Noelle Stevenson. I think I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a cute graphic novel. I'm not going to continue on, but we follow like a group of girlfriends, and they are at a camp, and something like magical happens. I enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna continue on with the series. Next, I read Chew Volume 1 through 6 by John Layman, and we follow our main character, Tony, and whenever he eats something, he can see where, like, whatever he eats, he can see where it's from. So, you know, if he eats chicken, he can see like where the chickens were raised on the farm and stuff like that. So he actually works for I believe the CIA or something like that, and he solves murder mysteries by like, I think, eating dead bodies and figuring out like how they died. Very interesting. I really like the concept. It's unique and I really enjoyed it, and I need to continue on with the series. And I gave each of the 2 volumes, I believe, a 4 out of 5 stars. And lastly, I read Saga Volume 7 by Brian K. Vaughan, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I love this graphic novel, but it is definitely for adults. There's violence and a lot of sexual content and mature content. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and they have a child. So it's really interesting. We follow like 2 different species. It's set in space. I really liked it, and I can't wait to continue with the series. All right, guys, well, that is it for this really, really long video. Comment down below. Let me know your favorite and your least favorite book that you read in 2017. And I will see you next time in another video. Bye!